Guys, just let me know in the chat box there real quick. Just let me know if that audio is coming through loud and clear. Just give me a yay or a nay in that chat box. So make sure that everybody can hear me just fine. Okay, there we go. All right. And good. All right, so let me just double check and make sure that all the handsets are muted. Yep, looks like we're good. All right, so let's get rocking and rolling here today, folks. So glad you're joining me. Like I said in GLIP, we're not going to take a whole lot of time here today because what I have to show you is very straightforward, but also extremely powerful. When it comes to converting leads, in fact, can be one of the most powerful things that you do to actually get those leads captured to commit directly to a phone appointment with you or just take that next step, whatever you want that step to be. All right. So let's get right to it. We don't need to dwell on this too much because it's just going to be a 1, 2, 3 step process. So what I'm going to show you is what happens after somebody fills out your landing page. So the way that process works currently is they see your ad, click on your ad, end up on a landing page, answer a couple questions in the mini quiz, and then click the submit button. Boom, you get an email. And then now it's kind of this cat and mouse game of trying to reach the individuals, right? So we've also talked about and showed you how to upgrade that process utilizing ActiveCampaign so that you can automate the follow-up and even include text messaging and all that fun stuff. But what if you could just get them to, right out of the gate, make a commitment and pick an exact time to talk to you on the phone or even come to your office? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, let me share my screen here. There we go. So let me go ahead and fire up that screen. And then let's go ahead and fire up one of these tabs. There we go. Okay, so what we now want to do is we want to add one more step to that process. And the individuals who have taken the time to click and fill everything out and jump through a couple of hoops, they've already shown that there's a decent level of interest. But now we want to give them the ultimate test. And that is to give them a calendar where they can actually pick an exact time and date to talk to you. Okay, so right up here underneath description, I have an opportunity to fill out a call to action telling them why they want to do this, giving them some benefits, because again, we don't want to sell features, we want to sell the benefits of actually scheduling a time to talk to you. And we instruct them to go and pick a time right over here on the left. They can pick a day. So let's say they picked Tuesday the 8th. And then what it's going to do is it's going to show them different time slots that are available for a quick 15 or 20-minute strategy session. Okay, so let's say, now again, I just have this set up as a dummy page. I didn't pick the exact times and dates that I would make available. But once they select that time slot in the calendar, that time slot is reserved, or it's put on reserve until they fill out and put their name, email, phone number, and click to actually book the appointment, at which point you're going to get a message that, hey, you got a phone appointment with such and such. Here's their email, here's their name, here's their phone number, and then it's going to be removed from the options list over here. So it will automatically remove the time slots that you chose to have available. Okay, so it's just, again, it's a really, really cool feature. And then as you can see, you can even have blackout dates. Like here, I put Wednesday on here just to show you. I can put Saturday and Sunday on there as blackout dates. I can choose particular days and even choose particular time slots throughout the week that are blackout dates, or say that, hey, those have already been reserved. Here's what's left. Okay, because you don't want to look too open either. You want to be convenient, but at the same time, you don't want to make it look like, hey, yeah, I can meet literally any time and day that you want. That's just too eager. That's not sending the right signals. Okay. So, so that's the step, or that's the additional step that I want you to add on the back end, so that now When they're on your landing page and they click that submit button, yes, you're going to capture that lead, and yes, that information is going to be sent over to you, but then they're going to be redirected to your calendar page and then asked, hey, how would you like to talk about, let's say, for example, the self-employment loan, okay, low down, low doc self-employment loan. So boom, they would come here and it would state, hey, would you like to talk directly with a specialist about these low document self-employment loans and get all your questions answered instantly by a professional. Leave nothing to chance. In fact, this box right here can be completely replaced with a video, which is what I recommend. Because people aren't going to really read too much. If I put in this description here, about the most I can throw in here is about 3, 4, maybe 5 sentences at the most before people just stop reading. And even then, they'll probably scan it. But if I put a video on here of me, in this case you, with your smiling face, happy, telling them what the benefits are, now you're going to see a much higher conversion rate because people will watch a lot more in video format than they will reading the exact same content. Okay. In fact, even if you don't use the appointment scheduling process, what I want each of you to do is, if you really, really want to take your lead generation to the next level from a conversion standpoint, shoot some video. And this works so darn well because so few people are willing to do it. Most loan officers, and I say this after having worked with thousands of them, most loan officers will never get behind the camera. And the excuse is always one of 2 or 3 things. It's always either, hey, well, I'm not comfortable getting behind the camera, so that's always a big one. Number 2, well, I'm not tech savvy enough. It's going to be low quality. It's going to be crappy. And then 3 is, oh, well, I just look goofy on the camera. So even though technically I'm willing to do it, it probably won't help because, I'm kind of awkward, blah, blah, blah. Those are the 3 things that I hear. I hear them again and again and again and again. But in this day and age, guys, you got to get over that. If your goal is maximum conversion, nothing works better at getting people to feel a sense of connection with you than being able to both see and hear you simultaneously. And let me illustrate this here in a very interesting way. There was a study done on television shows, on sitcoms. And this was back when Friends, the television show Friends, had just gotten off the air. And what the university did was they sent out this test. I think it was to something like 15 to 20,000 people. And what they were trying to find out was if seeing people, even if it was just on a television, but just being able to see a video image of people actually formed a connection, if it actually stimulated the same parts of the brain as actually spending time with someone. And what they learned was, yes, that these people actually felt as if these characters on the television show were actually their friends, the same parts of their brains and the same parts of their brains that would light up when it came to rapport and familiarity and actually having an emotional connection with these people were being stimulated when they would watch these video images of these people. They've never met these actors. In fact, the people being portrayed don't even exist in real life. It's just an actor playing this person, but the actual personalities themselves are all an act. But yet, subconsciously, these people were still getting the same dump of hormones that comes from recognizing somebody that you know and that you care about. They actually cared about these fictitious characters. Because it doesn't matter whether these people, now applying it to you, it doesn't matter if these people have never met you. When they're seeing you and they're seeing your smile, they're seeing that you're pleasant, they're hearing the tone of your voice, there is a connection being formed, even if it's just a small one. I'm not claiming it's going to be on the same level as a sitcom that people watch, weekly or whatever. But it's still an advantage. It's still a connection, and you need every advantage you can get. Because let's say all it does is land me 1 out of 10 people scheduling an appointment with me. Well, what do you think the likelihood and the odds are of you taking an app with somebody who took the time to actually schedule a phone call with you? What do you think the likelihood is of that turning into an app versus just your run-of-the-mill lead? Okay, so, and I know there's a lot of you doing about 15 to 20 leads a week. That seems to be average right now through this course. Some of you guys are doing about 25 to 30. But bottom line is even at 15 leads a week, then that means statistically speaking, at least one of them is going to schedule an appointment each week. That means for the month, you'll have 4 people that scheduled a phone appointment with you right out of the get-go. Now, to get a phone appointment buying a live transfer that's even decent quality, you're going to spend at least $100 to $125 if you want something that's legit, bare minimum for a single call. And usually you got to commit to what? A minimum in packs of 10 to 20. And that live transfer, who knows what they were told to stick around on the phone versus somebody, and they were telemarketed, right? And they had to be talked into this versus this person here is the one who jumped through the hoops, is not going to be sold to anybody else, didn't talk to a telemarketer on their own volition, clicked, yes, I want to meet with you. Okay. And for those of you using the lead ads, I think I mentioned this last week real quick, but I'm going to bring it up again. For those of you wondering about the quality of the leads, when you get your back end, properly running, let me open this up here. So here's what's possible. Now this is a company that I do this for. So yeah, over 520 leads captured, 263 actually got through to credit pull status and 1003 status. Out of 520 leads captured using the exact same lead ad, exact same verbiage that I taught you a couple weeks ago. So this was a company, though, that has very, very strict follow-up protocols. And if you're thinking, well, maybe they're just in a good area. No, these guys originate in 17 different states. So they've been in a lot of different states. And these are still the averages that we're getting with them because they have very strict follow-up protocol that everybody gets treated the same and gets immediate contact, plus gets the voice drop, plus gets the text message, plus gets X amount of follow-up phone calls, plus gets sent a video welcome. And here's who your loan officer is going to be. This is your project manager is going to be taking care of you through this process. It's a very, very strict process. 263 applications out of 520 leads. Guys, that's over a 50% from lead capture to credit pull in 1003 percentage. The process works, but you got to drill down on it and put forth the effort to get it right, not just token effort, not just saying, well, I kind of tried, but blah, blah, blah. No, we don't want to make excuses. We want to get in there and make it happen. Okay. So a video is my recommendation on the first step you can take to making that happen is be positive. Let's talk about what we need to do in a video introduction. Let's see here. Let me open up a document. Now, what do you guys think? Go ahead and share with me. What do you think should go into a video? If you're going to have a video introduction on your appointment scheduling page, and I'll talk to you guys about how to set up an appointment scheduling page in here in just a moment. So, but why don't you guys share with me what do you think are some of the most important elements of a video? And okay, and for you guys who've noticed, yeah, in my Word document, yes, this does mean I have 90 plus tabs open worth of my Word document. Yeah, it's been a busy week, no doubt. Got a lot of projects going on right now. So go ahead and share with me, guys. Let's get some feedback here. Come on. What do you think? What are some important elements, just in your opinion, that would need to go into a video that's welcoming them and going to convince them to schedule this appointment with you? What are some reasons you can give them of why this is important? Why would somebody want to do this? Why is this a benefit to them as a home shopper, somebody that's about to buy a home? You're the loan officer, so this is something that every single person should have right ready to go at the top, at the tip of your tongue, right? It's kind of like your elevator speech. If you can't tell people at the drop of a hat why they should do business with you, then you probably need to go back and reassess what you're in business for, right? So the same concept applies here. If people can't give me a reason why somebody would want to schedule an appointment with you, then why should they be convinced if you're not convinced, right? So Tom says personalization where possible, and using the words, oh, sorry, the little window popped closed. Sorry about that. And using the words, I'm here to help, here to educate them. All right, so really good thoughts there. So I particularly like, okay, so Tom said personalization. That's boom. I mean, that's nail on the head right there. That's definitely a big one, big one. Anytime, oh, see, I got a typo there, but who cares? Anytime you can personalize a statement and personalize part of the process versus somebody feeling like they're just another number to you, that's a big deal, right? I mean, that is a big deal. Is it feels like, and that's also another reason why video is so powerful versus text, is it feels like, because you can actually see, and even again, if it's just even on a subconscious level, I can see the person looking right at me. It looks like they're looking right at me, even though I consciously know they're not. It's just a video. Subconsciously, it feels like they're looking at me and they're talking to me. I can hear you. I can see your lips moving. I can see your facial expressions. And it's a lot easier to judge someone's personality, their mannerisms, and how they feel about something when I can see it and hear it versus just reading text. I'm sure you guys would agree, wouldn't you, that just reading text, it's oftentimes easy to misconstrue. Like unless somebody puts an LOL there, why do things like that even exist? Well, because sometimes it's hard to tell in text if somebody's joking versus are they being serious? Are they upset? So there's certain things that we can do, like putting the LOL and the emoticons and smileys and underlining or all caps to show, hey, I'm really upset and I'm yelling now. But barring that, which we don't do those sorts of things typically in most ad copy, it can be very difficult, and video excels. So you got the personalization. So Tom also said educating them. So personalization is important. So educating them versus trying to give them a sales pitch. So let's see who else wants to contribute here. Let's see. Let's hear from you guys. What else? Why is this so powerful? What elements should exist in your video? While I'm waiting for that, let's talk about the educating process. So when we talk about educating, guys, we're going to give them good information as opposed to a hard sales pitch. We want to promise them good information, a good education. Okay, so Pete says we can dispel myths. There we go. There's another really good one. So you guys got some good ones here already. So dispel myths. That's always a good standby too, isn't it? Because there's so much crappy information out there for loan or for home buyers. I mean, my God, just spending time on some message boards, and if you go to like Reddit and look at the real estate section of Reddit, because there's actually real estate rooms in there, and there's some pages actually dedicated to mortgages. And when you see people just ask questions and just their peers, dogpiling on to throw in, their opinions, it's like, 75 to 80% of the stuff that's being said is just pure garbage. You're going, oh man, no wonder these people are so misinformed, right? So dispelling myths is always a safe and a good standby, and just has a good appeal to it, right? So how would I do this in a video format? Well, a couple of things here is, if you're going to do a video for your appointment scheduling page, keep it short. Just keep it short. There's no need to make this super long. It can be a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe even 2.5 minutes. But once you get over 3 minutes, people start to fall off. So if you want to go up to 3 minutes, that's fine. But that you can communicate quite a bit in 2 to 2.5 minutes, or even a minute and a half. But a couple of things that I recommend is don't talk very slowly on video. People thrive on enthusiasm, and that enthusiasm needs to be present in your voice. So if I'm doing a video like this, I need to smile, and you also need to be able to pass the smile test. Who here knows what the smile test is when it comes to sales? Who knows what the smile test is? The smile test is, even if somebody doesn't see you, can they tell if you're smiling or not while you're speaking? They should be able to hear the smile in your voice. So that's why, sometimes when I do my videos, this is a habit from just way back when I was cold calling, to get borrowers. But I used to do the smile test. I used to practice and say, can I actually hear the smile in my voice? When it almost sounds like you're almost on the verge of maybe even laughing a little bit, or they use the word giggling, but I don't giggle, I laugh. So, but they have to be able to hear that in your voice. So you're not actually laughing at the time, but it's you're getting there. You're excited. Okay, so that's oh, hey, this is Chad Weber here. Really glad you could join me. That sounds upbeat. That sounds energetic. It sounds positive. And that's what you got to do in your video. Now, it may feel or even sound unnatural to you the first few times you do it, but it's going to feel good to the strangers who don't know you. Don't worry about, hey, this might feel awkward, talking like that, because you know what? It sure as heck was for me when I first got started. But I quickly learned that it really does make a difference in conversion. The people feel better about you when you have that energy in your voice. Because if instead it's, hi, my name is Chad, blah, 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 that more monotone, they're going to click away from it because it's just friggin' boring. And people want to be entertained, even if it's just on an energetic level. So be upbeat. So energy, smile test, excitement. It doesn't mean your whole conversation has to be super excited like your introduction, but at least make those opening statements really happy, really energetic, really excited. Give them the details. Talk a little quicker as well than normal, because when you talk slower on video, again, it kind of signifies boredom. Now, it doesn't mean rush through the whole thing, but pick up the pace a little bit, because people have very, very, very short attention spans. And if I feel like, hey, a minute's gone by and you still haven't gotten to the point, whereas if you had maybe picked up the pace just a little bit, you already would have been at the point. So get to those points. Start hitting those important points right out of the beginning, and right out of the gate. Also, hit the pain points and hit them early. Don't wait until the end of the video. All right. Empathize with them. So let me give you guys a good example. So let's say you end up on, you just filled out the landing page and you end up on my video. Okay. So at that point, I want to incorporate some energy and some excitement right out of the gate. And I'm going to go ahead and hit some pain points early on. So this is just off the top of my head, so it's probably going to suck a little bit, but I'm just giving you examples of some of the things that you can say. So that's where, again, it's going to be, oh, hey there, this is Chad Weber, and I really, really want to say thank you for stopping by my page here today. And I just got one more thing that I wanted to share with you that's super, super important before you go and before you X out of this page. In fact, it's probably the most important thing of all. So if you're looking to buy a home right now, I'm assuming you've probably gone through that whole home buying shock process where you feel frustrated, where you feel confused, where you feel that you've looked at homes and you're just not quite sure which ones you can afford and what your payments are going to be. And then you're talking to, or at least researching, mortgage loans online, and you don't know who to believe because all the information contradicts itself. This can be not only confusing, but it can be downright scary, because making a mistake when you buy a home can cost you not just thousands, but even tens of thousands of dollars. And who wants to flush that money down the toilet? So here's what I want to share with you. Here's a quick solution, and it's only going to take you a very short period of time. Boom, now I tell them about my free home buying strategy session. But do you see how even just off the top of my head, I was able to get into that mindset of just how frustrating it can be when you're trying to buy a home and you don't know who to trust. You know, you look at the different mortgage loans and see all these different interest rates being thrown around, and some of them seem too good to be true, and your friends are telling you that they probably are. But at the same time, you're still curious anyway. You know, start hitting some of those pain points that you know happen with your demographic, especially if they're first time home buyers, because those guys don't know anything about the process. They're the least educated. Somebody who's bought a home or two in the past, at least they have an idea of what to expect, so they're not as nervous or frustrated because they're thinking to themselves, okay, been there, done that. May not have been pleasant, but at least I've been there, done that, so I know what to expect. But things are 10 times more scary when your anticipation, the anxiety is there because you don't know what's going to happen, right? So does that make sense to you folks? All right. So what I would do, here's what I would do. If I were you, is I would make a video. I'd make it 90 to 120 seconds on average. If it's a little bit over, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. You know, don't freak out if it's 10, 20 seconds over. Just try to keep it at the very max 3 minutes. But usually I keep most of my videos between 90 to 120 seconds. Sometimes I get a little wordy and I'll go back and I'll reshoot my video, because oftentimes I'll tell myself, yeah, I'm about to shoot a 10-minute video for a mini training. Next thing I know, it's 13 minutes, 14 minutes. Okay, well, when I go back through, I find, well, maybe I repeated myself a couple of times, and maybe I took too long to get to the point, and maybe I threw in a bunch of words that really I could have done without. So when you're having trouble keeping within a certain time frame, here's a nice little trick of the trade: is go back and listen to everything that you said. And oftentimes, if you're listening for, are there certain things that I said that if I removed them, my message would still have been the same? And if the answer is yes, then re-record and just remove those paragraphs, remove those sayings. And what you'll find is probably a good 20 to 25% of our language, we're just so inefficient in communicating that we often will say things and have entire phrases and entire dial or monologues that really were completely unnecessary to communicate a certain point. That even if I didn't say those things, my message would have been heard loud and clear. So when you cut those out, suddenly, oh yeah, it's much easier to stay within that time frame. All right. I would also do multiple videos for multiple variants. So maybe I'll do one for self-employed. I'll do one for VA and FHA. I will do one for reverse mortgages or refis or whatever different types of loans. Don't try to make yours all purpose. Why do you guys think we don't want to make one all-purpose video for all the different loan niches that you want to target? Why is it important that we not do that? I mean, if you're super low on time, okay, you know, but if you have the time, if you went through and shot one, you might as well take just a couple of minutes, because it's only going to be a 90 to 120 second video anyways for most of you. Why is it important to have different videos for different niches? Well, going back to what Tom said here, right? Personalization, right? Because there might be specific concerns, and we want them to feel like, hey, he's talking to me. That's exactly what I was worried about. That's what I was thinking about. So Pete got it. Yeah, different needs for different buyers. You're going to see slight variances. Now, the beauty of it, guys, it shouldn't take you any time at all to do multiple variants, because the verbiage is still going to be 90% similar. The only part that's really going to change is the concerns and the worries, and hey, here's what's probably keeping you up at night, part of the conversation. But everything else, I mean, heck, you could even transcribe your first video and then almost copy it completely and just have a different intro. But just make sure when we're talking about the needs and the concerns and the worries and what's keeping you awake at night, that be customized for the individual niches. I would also try different requests. So I might try one round where I'm trying to get them to schedule a phone appointment. I might try a different round where I'm trying to get them to come into the office or whatever the case may be, or agree to this or agree to that, whatever. Try different requests and different calls to actions and see where you get the most bang for your buck. All right. So pretty straightforward. So let me hear from you guys. How many of you guys are going to go make a video? How many of you guys are going to make a video? I'll make a deal with you. Okay. Let me show you. Here is. Let's head on over. There we go. So one tool that you can use is Calendly. So if you guys want to use a appointment scheduling software, and this hooks in with like your Google Calendar or whatever it is that you're using, and yes, they do actually have a free version. Okay, now the free version is going to have, it's going to be branded by Calendly and have their logo and stuff on it, but you can still use it for free. If you want the version that doesn't have the, specific limitations and whatnot, then you can get their premium. You don't really need pro. Premium, it's $8 a month. But I'm going to make you guys a deal. I'll let you use my booking software, and I'll even set it up for you if you make your video. Make your video and send it to me. And then you don't even have to buy the software. You can use mine, right? And I'll even help you set it up. And this will be connected directly with your landing page. So the instant they click that submit button, boom, they shoot right over here. They're going to see your video, think, wow, this Tom guy's really cool, or this Pete guy's really cool, or whatever. This is very helpful. I really would like to know the answers. This guy seems like a good guy. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. Let's do it. Boom, what do I got to lose? So, all right. So get your video done, and I'd be happy to set this up for you, or at least help you get it set up with my software so that you don't have to spend money on it. If you use the free version, you don't have to spend money on Calendly, but I'm not so sure that they feature embeddable videos on theirs. I've used Calendly before, and it's great. It's great. I like it. I just don't know that they allow you to insert videos onto it, whereas mine, I know for a fact I can insert videos on. All right. So, all right. Good. Okay, so Chad, making videos. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about making videos, and then we're done for the day, guys. All right. So I'm just going to share. Let me open up some tabs here. Almost ready here. So one of the best ways to do it, guys, is to head on over to your YouTube, and when you click this upload button over here, this icon, see where you got that upward facing arrow? That'll bring you to this page here. But instead of uploading a video, if you look to the right-hand sidebar, you're going to see live streaming. So set up your channel and stream live to your fans. Now, what live streaming is, it's just like Facebook Live in that it's going to actually be streamed live, and that it's going to be shown on YouTube as it's happening. But most of you folks don't have a big audience or following on YouTube yet, so really, who cares, right? What you're really after is the fact that as soon as you click that you're done with your live streaming, it's turned into a video. So, boom, now you got a video on YouTube. If you don't want to go that route, most of you, if you're on a PC anyhow, you come down here and do a search, just type out camera in here if you're on a PC, and if you're on Windows 10, there's a built-in video recording software. So it'll just fire up your webcam, and boom, you're ready to start recording. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can actually shoot with your smartphone. You can actually get a pretty good quality video from a smartphone these days. The one thing that I would recommend if you go that route, because there's one thing that does suck on smartphones. What do you think that is? Who can help me out? What sucks on most smartphones? Your audio, right? So, and you do want good crystal clear audio. So let me show you guys a super cheap solution. Lapel mics. Even on Amazon, I can get one for $17. It's a lapel microphone, plugs right into your phone, and it'll clip right up here so that the mic is near your mouth. It's got the little windscreen on it. It's got the little screen so that way the sound isn't going to sound as terrible. And that's really all you need. You don't need expensive equipment. I mean, the video quality you get, as long as you have a halfway decent smartphone, the video quality is actually pretty darn good. It's definitely better than most webcams, right? So you don't need to buy a camera or anything like that. And you can get, I believe this kit actually comes with, it comes with the tripod too. So now you're going to need to put it on desktop, but for most of us, we're going to be, sitting down anyways when we're recording the video. If you need a different one, they do sell taller tripods. But yeah, you got your tripod and your clip microphone for $17. So you don't need to spend a lot of money. But let me tell you guys, the payoff, the ROI on spending this $16.99 is immeasurable, because once you get comfortable shooting videos, it's going to be one of the highest ROI payoff activities that you can engage in. Because and one of the things I'm going to start teaching more and more here in the latter half of 2017 when it comes to ROI and lead generation is video and video ads using YouTube, because they're so freaking cheap and there's so little competition because people are freaking afraid of shooting videos. Either that, or there's a lot of people who are just too lazy and they just say, that's just too much hassle shooting a video. Yes, it is a pain in the butt to shoot a video. But that's a good thing, because that means that 90% of the people are also going to think it's a pain in the butt, and they're not going to do it because they're not as motivated as you are. So the 10% of people that are motivated enough to do it, well, they're going to have very, very little competition. And using them for things like email follow-up and using them for like what we discussed here to get an appointment, you're going to find, wow, this is just so much more powerful. Remember, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that integrating something like BombBomb for video email follow-up with your leads that are captured. If you're having trouble getting people to respond to you, well, send them a personalized video follow-up, and more people, a huge percentage of more of people than are responding now, will start responding, because people respect that and they feel good. You almost feel obligated to respond. I know that for a fact because the same technique's been used on me before, where I've had salespeople that I was just completely ignoring, because even though I was kind of interested, I wasn't that interested. But then once the guy sent me, a 2.5 minute personalized video where, he opened up going, oh, hey, Chad, I really wanted to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, damn it. Now I feel like I got to call the guy, because I respect the fact that he spent the time to fire up his camera, work up what he wanted to say, put himself out there, sit behind that camera and talk to me like a human being. Versus an email that felt maybe like it was canned and could have been sent out to 1,000 other people. So he actually got a response from me. It works. It really does. So that's why, I'm sharing this with you. And if you have halfway decent audio, then you don't even need to wait for something like this. Some of you, if you live near a music shop, like I know the Guitar Center around here in the Midwest is very popular. They got mics where I can run and just get one right away. I don't know that you'll necessarily find, a lapel mic at a Best Buy or whatnot. I kind of doubt it, but you might find a desktop microphone or a USB microphone that's better than nothing. But I do really like the lapel mics, just because you get a crisper sound, because that mic is like right there, right? As opposed to sitting on your desktop. So, there's lots of other alternatives. You don't just have to go this route. Okay. So, and I wasn't necessarily picking this brand either and saying, hey, you should definitely get this brand. Again, I just popped it into Amazon to see what would show up, because I've seen these offers, again and again and again, and I know that they're very cost effective. Okay. So does that make sense, everybody? So any questions before we wrap up today? So I know I talked a little bit longer, but I wanted to share some of my sources with you before letting you go. But if you guys have any questions, now is the time to ask. So any questions on making videos, audio, or any of those processes? Follow up, scheduling appointments. All right. Okay, guys. So I look forward to receiving your videos. Again, if you shoot one over to me, then I will get you your appointment scheduling page set up. So I'll connect with you and get that set up for you so you can start getting those actual appointments. And let me tell you, you'll celebrate when you get your first one because it's so cool that you can actually go from somebody just clicking on one of your ads to, okay, now I got a specific time and day to actually speak with them on the phone, and I didn't even have to talk to them. They're the ones that scheduled it. I mean, it's such a cool feeling. And the fact that you can do that again and again and again is just so darn powerful. All right, so thanks again, guys. Hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. And let's get those videos hammered out. Send them over to me. I'll get you your page hammered out, and we can start getting some appointments scheduled. All right, make it a great one, guys. Bye now.